working on it for a couple of months. The Broncos have been working on the Chiefs for a long time because they've lost 5 straight to them, but they're at home, they're fired up. And after a couple early field goals, Mahomes said enough of this. We're the Chiefs, we don't do field goals. I'll run this one in for my first career rushing touchdown, nice and clean. And Nate, there was some basketball extracurriculars.
Oh yeah, they did a little step back action on the celebration.
Don't mind it at all. Kansas City, one of the great NBA cities, of course. But here we go.
Oscar Robertson,
Rice Freeman.
They go.
2 peas in a pod, and they run right through the Chiefs tacklers.
He even ran over his own player in the end zone.
He ran over his own. Now, there's 4 Chiefs who are boxing him in, but he makes a great play to get positive yardage. And then we're going to do Act 2, in which there are 2.5 Chiefs boxing him in, but the Broncos didn't quit. Neither did Royce Freeman, and neither did Denver all night. They wanted this one bad. We'll get to that in a minute. Third quarter, the Chiefs trailing now. Trailing 13-10. They don't trail. Yes, they do. Here's the throw of the night. Mahomes, don't throw late across the middle, but you can if you have a laser like that. Kelsey, no problem. 29 yards. This was a thing of beauty. I mean, it wasn't the throw in the corner, Peter, when you were there at Arrowhead. That was the best throw of the year so far, but that was pretty special.
A freak show.
Still a freak show, but they couldn't punch it in. It wasn't touchdowns upon touchdowns. He tries to get it there to Robinson. Pac-Man Jones still doing it. Pac-Man in the champ jersey. I kind of like it. On the coverage, they get a field goal. 13-13. Low scoring until Phillip Lindsay later in the third rushes in for a 1-yard touchdown. And the Broncos are up. Are they going to beat this team? Are they going to knock off the undefeated Chiefs? Find out. Fourth quarter. Now the Chiefs are down 10. You're down 10 in Arrowhead, or rather in Mile High. That's a wrap. Teams don't come back there. Teams don't have this guy, or they don't have Kareem Hunt, who came to play last night, catching, running, really carried the team when Mahomes wasn't going ballistic statistically. Look at this play. Oh, this was so close. This is flying so close to the sun because on the replay, the quick little flip to Kelsey, Von almost jumps up and grabs this.
He sees it.
He's going 95 yards. They're going to have to run him down. They're going the other way. That determined the game right there. But Denver's still up. Chiefs defense gets a very clutch 3 and out, and they give it back to Mahomes. Look out. Von's got the sack. Wrap him up. Get him, Von. What just happened? Take me through this, please. Someone tell me what happened.
Well, listen, he's rolling left. He has the ball in his right hand. You see Von Miller tracking him down. And then at the last minute, he switches the ball to his left and throws it with his left hand. Unbelievable, because I really think he could have threw it with his right.
Flicked it like an option.
It's almost like he just wanted to add some extra cheese on the burger.
Style points. He had that thing animal style, Burleson. Mahomes now with the ball down 3. Looking, and he goes, and guys, he finds DeMarcus Robinson, 23 yards. High drama here in Mile High. Here's the controversy. This is the one all morning Broncos fans are all in a fuss about because we got a big gain to Demetrius Harris, but not so fast, my friends. Look at the very top of your screen when we go to the rear angle. You're going to see the play clock, which gets to 0. Circle that thing for me. You're supposed to whistle it right then. Sometimes you get a beat and a half. Afterwards, they got it there. Broncos fans not happy because inevitably it led to this. 2 plays later, Kareem Hunt, their MVP last night, all over the place, 4-yard touchdown. Chiefs up 27-23.
Mahomes in the fourth quarter, final 2 drives, 13-16, 153 yards, 1 touchdown. Unbelievable.
Case Keenum has never been a guy to quit. He is a scrapper, and he is going to fight back. Jeff Hireman, 36 yards. The Broncos in great shape. They got time, get on the ball. Down 4, though, they need a touchdown, and here it comes. Your big money receiver, Demaryius Thomas.
Hole shot. Cover 2 hole shot. He catches that. He walks in the end zone.
It's a massive play.
It's a massive play, and you see it. The perfectly thrown, perfectly ran route, but the ball, not so much.
That's the kind of play that keep you out of the playoffs. I mean, that could be the difference. We hope they rally, but let's find out now. 4th and 10, 16 seconds. Do they go with a quick completion out of bounds, get up and clock it? No, they go to the rookie Courtland Sutton, who tries the lateral. These guys dialed up a hook and ladder play, which I think is awesome and courageous. It just was not successful. They couldn't quite pull off the latter part of that. So the Chiefs win in an exhilarating game, 27-23, a real classic in this rivalry. And our own James Palmer caught up with Kareem Hunt, their MVP, after a massive win.
We've seen a lot of success from your quarterback, but this one he had to battle out, throwing the football left-handed. What do you learn from him tonight?
Man, he always going to give us a chance to win, and with a guy like that, you want him on your team. I love the way he competes, and, man, we just came back. You know, that was a tough, down 10.
Do you guys have a feeling that there's nothing he can't do right now?
Hey, right here, baby. Hey, he ain't nothing he can't do, man. He can throw on a run. He can run. man, I don't know, throw with his left hand. What else you gonna ask for him?
That drive that you guys had, you have second and forever. What was your demeanor in the huddle as a group? Not to panic, it appeared.
Yeah, not to panic. Just come out, man, and just take it play by play. No matter what, we got to execute whatever's called. We just got to do it to the best of our ability.
Getting into the end zone there at the end and going over 100 against this defense that's so good against the run. How'd you do it?
That's a tough defense, man. Definitely coming in, I just prepared myself to be physical, man. Just come attack them all night long and, bring the fight. And the line did a great job of coming to fight with me, and that's how we did it.
Congrats. Enjoy it.
Yeah, thank you.
Kareem Hunt, 121 yards, a brilliant, balanced tightrope act with that 45-yard run to, of course, set up that first rushing touchdown for Patty Cakes. Chiefs play the Jags, the Patriots, the Bengals, and the Broncos again over the next 4 weeks. The question now is, are they actually unstoppable, or is there anything that we still need to see before we declare them AFC frontrunners? To me, you can't complain about anything. Maybe a little bit of the defense, obviously, if something were to happen to the offense. I don't know if anybody's figuring this offense out, but it's going to be after next week. Because next week, they take on the Jags, and the Jags, they just took care of Sam Darnold, and I know Sam Darnold and Patrick Mahomes are not the same thing, but out of 6 quarterbacks that the Jags have faced that have 10 career starts or less, only one of them has a win. Only Jared Goff threw for 124 yards and just 1 touchdown. This Jags defense has a combined 29 sacks, divvied up, which is 5 sacks a pop for these 6 quarterbacks that they've taken on that have a little bit less experience than some of the other guys in the league. If he can go face Jacksonville, build some momentum off of this bright light win in week 4 and get it done, then they will have my full faith. All done. I can't complain anymore. It's defense or not.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say that they're going to be unstoppable because I've seen fast-paced offenses get shut down before. I will say this, though. The Jags, they dropped one to the Titans, and we didn't think that they were going to lose to the Titans with their backup quarterback. So this will be the strongest arm the Jags have ever seen. This might be the most mobile quarterback the Jags have ever seen. So this is going to be the biggest test for the Jacksonville Jaguars, who I am absolutely in love with. I will say this, though. The important thing about this game, and I touched on it a little bit earlier, is that they have all the glitz and the glamour and the fast-paced, high-electric offensive plays that we've seen over the past few weeks. But this was old-school, traditional football. It's like Pistol Pete. If you're familiar with Pistol Pete, he can do everything. He can throw a pass off his elbow, behind the back, close his eyes, dish an assist. But Pistol Pat, he can do the same thing. He throw with his left hand, but then he can drop back like Tom Brady, pick apart a defense. He could drop back like this, look at the defense and say, you know what, nobody's open. You want to drop 7, then I'll rush for a touchdown. That's high intelligence. I'm not going to throw it when you got all your defensive backs and linebackers in my eye view. So for me, I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, I can appreciate that because now defense is saying, okay, I have to prepare for that fast-paced pistol offense, the jet sweeps, the reverses, all the gadgets, and the old-school traditional football. So these defenses are going to have their handfuls, and they will have their handfuls for the rest of the season. The only team that can stop the Kansas City Chiefs is the Kansas City offense.
I'm glad you brought that up, though, because, Kate, I need to see a lot more from Mahomes. I mean, we have not seen an around-the-back pass yet. For real. What is he waiting for? Are we at week 5 already? Well, let's bring up the left-hander. It's okay, I guess. I mean, I want the Jason Williams elbow pass. Bring it up. I mean, he doesn't exactly lead. He is okay. He had to wait for the ball a little bit. He should lead him to the sideline a little bit more.
Tighter spiral?
Spiral wasn't there.
No, come on. Look at that wounded duck. Come on. You shouldn't even get the laces. And a little bit of history here, guys. The last left-handed touchdown pass was thrown by Des Bryant. The last left-handed pass was Jarvis Landry, 2-point conversion. And the last left-handed quarterback in the league was Kellen Moore, who's now an assistant for the Cowboys. There are none. 0. Comb the rosters. Nobody in the 3 deep. That is the only one. But when are we going to see the headbutt pass? Because I've seen Eli do it. I've seen Favre do it. I was a little underwhelmed.
You know, you're funny. You're being sarcastic with it. With me, it's like with Mahomes, as much as we love these plays, and look, in the preseason, we maybe saw the most dynamic pass he's had, the 70 yards in the air to Tyreek Hill, which blew us away. I'll watch it one more time because, well, it's almost salacious at this point. Like,
so in a preseason
I'm exploiting it. It's so good. That was that one. And then I was on the field week 3 against the 49ers when he throws the one where he runs around and does the whole thing. This one here, which to me is Russell Wilson type stuff. But what amazes me most about what the Chiefs are doing on offense, and what Patrick Mahomes specifically is doing, He's now 4 games into the season. He has 14 touchdowns. He's doing all this out of the pocket, running like a madman, making passes. He has no interceptions, and he hasn't fumbled the ball yet.
It's nuts.
So he's doing all this, and everyone says, Favre. He hasn't fumbled yet either. Everyone says,
such a risk-taker, gunslinger.
Favre threw picks.
You're insulting him by saying
You're insulting Patrick Mahomes. In fact, I spoke with a member of the Kansas City Chiefs organization, and he said, Favre is good and all that. He goes, it's more like a good point guard. That's what Patrick is. He makes the big plays, but he makes the smart passes. So I'm going to say, forget Favre. Magic Johnson or Steve Nash. That's the better comparison because he doesn't turn the ball over and he makes all the right passes.
But he's athletic, so maybe like LeBron because he's so big and strong.
No turnovers.
It's the craziest statistic of the season that he has 0 interceptions and 14 touchdowns. Taking the shots that he does take when he thinks it's right to do so. Wild. He would have gotten straight A's in high school and everything. Do you guys remember progress reports?
Yeah.
Little things that I'd like hide from my parents and learn how to forge their signature. Chester. Yeah, I could do all of that. Basically, it tells you how you're doing in school. So we're a quarter of the way through the 2018 NFL season. It's almost over and done with at least the first fourth. So we thought it would be a good time to dish out some progress reports of our own. Except, of course, instead of parent-teacher conferences, we are talking AFC, NFC conferences. Shall we?
Yeah.
Let's talk AFC now. Peter, after 4 weeks, a lot of teams have impressed. Which AFC team, in your opinion, do you think is the head of the class?
I'll be quick. We just spoke about them. I think the Kansas City Chiefs. I think their defense showed us a lot last night, too. They stopped the Broncos when they needed. I know they've given up a ton of yards, but they're number 1 in the league on third down, which means they're stopping teams. And a lot of the yards they gave up those first 3 weeks, they were in games that they were up by 20, 30 points. So I think as long as Mahomes keeps playing this way, Kay, you showed the schedule coming up.
Yeah.
Jaguars, Bengals, Pats. Those are all teams. I think they're the teams that are scared of the Chiefs, not the other way around. I'm going Kansas City Chiefs, head of the class in the AFC.
All right, that's a great pick, of course.
Great.
I'm going to go with the team that's been in school a long time. I mean, they're in 13th grade right now. I'm going to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. And I'm kind of got this little voice in my head saying, don't fall in love with the Bengals. I kind of am falling in love with them because they were a little bit like Wooderson and Dazed and Confused, just around and around and around, and they never really graduate. They got their act together right now. They got a new trapper keeper, and they got the calculator, and they're getting A's. I like what the Bengals are doing. That game they had against Baltimore was awesome. That one they had last week was awesome. They passed. I would call those tests. I would call those big tests. And in the past, the bigger the test is, the worse the grade has been for the Bengals. So I'm going to get Cincinnati head of the class. I like it.
All right, Kay, what you got?
The Ravens.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at a balanced team. I still do have questions about the Kansas City defense, and I feel like if you're the Ravens, their defense is stout. It's amazing. They're going to stifle people all season long. It's the fact that they're 3-1, and Joe Flacco's having the best start of his career, especially since being in the Super Bowl and winning that Super Bowl. His passer rating through 4 weeks. He's got 8 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions. I think the fact that he's averaging like 313 yards a game and hitting guys like John Brown, getting his running backs involved, Buck Allen's a thing, Crabtree, and the like. I'm loving them, and I do not think that they're getting enough love.
All right. I'm going with a group of kids that sat in the back of the classroom, talked a little bit, but they stole our hearts because they were getting high grades on tests. It might rub the teacher the wrong way, but they love them in the classroom. I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they are absolutely incredible. The Jags are that group of individuals that they talk a lot, but they back it up. And I love the fact that last year they kind of pick up where they started. The offense is coming along, and if you say, well, what are they doing without Fournette? How about T.J. Yeldon? Yeah. Him making plays in his replacement. Young wide receivers stepping up and playing big. I have faith in Blake Bortles. They don't give him all that money for no reason. Of course, that defense still one of the best in the business. And I know you're saying, well, Nate, they lost to the Titans. Oh, you're talking about one of the best teams in the NFL? So I'm going with the Jags, man. That's my team right now. They get a high grade from me through the first quarter of the season.
All right, guys. Some teams aren't always behaving like they're supposed to, like Kyle in school, or they're acting out. So which AFC team needs to stay after class? Who needs a little bit of a pep talk, a talking to? I will go with the Steelers, because the Steelers are the kid in class who's so bright and so talented, and everybody in the class knows it, and he's sitting in the back row goofing off and throwing spitballs. Yeah. Like, that is Big Ben, who has the most talent around him. He's in all the AP classes. He's in honors everything, and he's flunking out to start the season. His worst start in terms of record and passer rating, guys, since 2013, when the Steelers went 8-8 and they missed the playoffs. He's turned it over 7 times in 4 games. You are too good for that. You're not a C student. You're an A+ student. Let's go.
All right, I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. When I was in the 4th grade, I had straight A's. I was that guy that wanted to get the best grades every single day.
Okay.
Then I had the chicken pox, and I was out for a while. And I remember I came back, and everybody's like, Nate, where'd you go? I was only gone for like 4 days. Where'd you go? You missed so much. That's Deshaun Watson. He stole the hearts. He was getting great after great after great. I'm like, man, this dude is amazing. Then he has that ACL. And he comes back, and everybody's like, where'd you go? Where'd you go? And now that he's back, he hasn't really recaptured that magic. They got their first win, but I'm looking for them to take this momentum and pick it back up, but they haven't fulfilled expectations because really he was my guy for MVP who I wanted to go with. But I'm looking at the Texans right now. They got a little bit of an incomplete thus far.
They got things going on after last week. They need to keep on going with that momentum. Sure. I'm going to go with an interesting one here. I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns. We pat the Cleveland Browns on the back so much on this show and in other shows on the media. Cleveland Browns are 1-2-1 right now. They should be 4-0. The Cleveland Browns should be 4-0. They led 21-7 week 1. They missed a 43-yard field goal and had a million opportunities to win that game against Pittsburgh. They didn't. They missed 2 extra points here against the Saints in New Orleans. They should have been 2-0 there. They beat the Jets, obviously. And last week, I know everyone's going to point to the refs and say it was the officiating, but on 4th and inches, up 8 points late in the game, they're punting the ball. They're also up 8 with 1:20 left to go. They lost to this team, the Raiders, on the road. I think the Browns, as much as we're happy to see them have a win and have a tie, and as much as we're thrilled to see them in the conversation to at least be relevant this year, should be 4-0. They're 1-2-1. That's terrible. Let's go, Browns. Should have won those games.
All right, if I'm going to talk about getting through to a student and reaching them, I'm going to talk about some students that have been spending most of their life in the middle of a gangster's paradise. I'm going to talk about the Oakland Raiders. I'm going to Dangerous Minds. I can reach these kids. I'm Michelle Pfeiffer. If I turn my chair around and talk to them like this, they'll trust me. I'll become
on a leather jacket.
We talked about how they fake bad. They led in every game at halftime that they lost, and then they came out and won last week. Here's what you love if you're a Raiders fan, though. This is the student with potential. I see potential in you. You're underachieving. Marshawn is very good. Jordy is very good. I like what Doug Martin gives them when he comes off the bench. So the oldest trick in the book is to take this F, and if you take the F, guys, you can go like that, and you make it into a B. That's what it is. And I think the silver and black have B potential up from that F start.
Have you ever doctored a report card?
Yes. We did autobiographical. Absolutely. Absolutely. Have you?
Oh, 100%.
Whiteout, or what's your method?
Sorry, high school. No.
Will you take an A- and make it a plus?
Computer program. Whole awful. It's probably a felony in some areas. We're going to take a break here.
That's called hacking.
That's like American Greed.
Well, you know what? Patrick Mahomes is hacking the league. I'm hacking my report card in high school. No big deal. Mitchell Trubisky, great, impressive numbers in Sunday's win. What do they do after that W? They've got a bye this week, but I'll tell you something you might not know. Plus, Tom Brady gets Julian Edelman back in Foxborough on Thursday night. How big of an impact will Brady's go-to dude have in Week 5?
Hey, the superintendent of Whitney Young High School is on Twitter, and he's got some issues he wants to talk to you about.
Dr. Joyce Kenner?
Yeah, Dr. Joyce.
Game on the line. And